Okay, let's watch. I believe he's to the bottom. I believe he's right here to the very bottom of your screen. Yeah, pretty relative, and like some of the interceptions were relatively easy here. Now out of like a pistol set, play action, roll out to the right. You have Stiggers who's being really patient here over the top of number one, the number one receiver, staying over top of it. Obviously, keys the quarterback, looking at the quarterback. As soon as the quarterback goes to throw, obviously he tracks where to, and then picks the ball off. So good patience. We like that he tips himself the interception there. Not necessarily an easy thing to do. Probably couldn't catch it one-handed. So instead of trying to catch it one-handed, I'll tip it up to myself and then catch it when it's a little bit cleaner. Okay, easy, right? Pretty easy pick. He just saw it over top of the guy, saw the quarterback throw the ball, attacked said ball, right? Um, Stiggers fill. Okay, so we got a fill in the run game. Obviously the big red arrow indicates where he is on this one. So let's see him fill. Okay, one takes on the block with aggressiveness, right? Nice outside in angle right there. Again, obviously keys to quarterback, sees the quarterback flip his hips to the flat really quickly, throw the ball. Stiggers recognizes that, triggers downhill, reduces his near shoulder up to the court up to the corner, dips it through, runs through contact. Now he's got a good outside in position on the running back with inside leverage on the blocker, makes a tackle. Really, relatively easy. Nothing crazy here, but again, good trigger, good taking on the block, good job breaking down, and making a tackle. Pretty good job. Near interception for Stiggers. I believe he's to the very top, yeah, very top of your screen right here. Right, so much wider field, much less wide hashes, much less wide. Top of your screen. Okay, so this one he's using and you want to see him pick that ball off. But he's using the sideline as his friend right here. I don't You don't love him getting so far into your blind spot right here. Again, he is using the sideline to his advantage. So there's only, that 3 or 4 yard gap right there. So he figures, okay, if I can track the quarterback, track the tempo of the play, then if the ball is thrown and I don't feel that receiver or it's vertically or outside of me, I can speed turn and I can get back to the receiver, I can get back to the ball. Again, not the best ideal, not ideal in my opinion. Letting the receiver attack that blind spot. Because let's say he were to sit this down really quickly on like a comeback or just a stop route, he's not going to be able to see that, and it's going to be more reactionary instead of having your hands and your eyes in a spot where you can be a little bit more proactive. So it's a little bit risky, but nonetheless, we see some of the athleticism of him being able to break and then nearly make that pick. You could see that he's pretty athletic, good foot speed right there, in control of his body, breaks down well, and then obviously dives and misses the pick. Ball goes between his hands. You obviously want to see him catch that, but um, still see some of the positive traits there from Stiggers. Stiggers TD given bottom. Okay, bottom most. He gives up a TD here. Now, it is hard to tell sometimes with some of these zones, like just exactly what they're trying to do. It does look like it's like a red two, where everybody, you have a bunch of guys playing on the line right here, and then you have two back. So why Stiggers, especially without a safety over top, even from the jump, without a safety over the top, even pre-snap, like heavily indicating that this is not accounted for unless it's Stiggers. Unless he just completely blows his assignment, it seems like Stiggers is supposed to play in this cloud. Don't let anybody get behind you in this incident because there's nobody behind, there's no safety behind you. And don't let anybody get outside of you. Now, obviously, if it's so far outside where, there's no throwing window, if it's a yard or two away from the line of scrimmage, fine, but there's a lot of space right there. For Stiggers not to see this guy, obviously gets vertical now, and now you have a whole back corner of the end zone that's wide open. Touchdown. Why does he let him go behind him? I'm not sure. You know, just based on the defense and based on the coverage, you'd assume that Stiggers is responsible for that. Because again, unless that safety was just so far off in terms of his pre-snap alignment, it doesn't make much sense. So if I had to attribute that Touchdown to Stiggers right there. Can't let that guy get behind you. Obviously, have to have better awareness. Um, better awareness there. Stiggers versus deep route checks quarterback before flip. Okay, right here. Obviously, we could see. Now, and with this being said, too, like all of these guys, I think every single person, and they play with 12. So it's um, five offensive linemen, six skill position guys, and a quarterback. And they're all allowed to move pre-snap. Like they're able to run and stuff, which is wild, but nonetheless. Yeah. So Stiggers is playing off coverage on the number two right here. Good pedal. Gets over the top. He's weaving to get over the top. He's not opening the hips and turning it over the top. He's weaving. Means he's in a back pedal, but he's also working himself horizontally as well. So he weaves over top of the route. When he weaves over top of the route, he checks the quarterback right here. It's hard to see from this angle, but I obviously checked it. I checked it, or I checked the back view too to see if he actually does turn and check the quarterback. But turns, checks the quarterback, sees if the quarterback is still holding the ball, see if he's still looking there. He is. Um, he is. So Steggers is going to play over top of this speed turn, snap his eyes out of the speed turn, play over top of that route. It's a really good job. It looks pretty simple. It's not so easy when this guy's already in a dead sprint, as he's crossing the line of scrimmage here. But it's a good job by Stiggers keeping his feet under him. Nice balanced pedal. Good job turning and opening the hips at about that 5 yard mark. Has a moment because he has a good 3-4 yards over the top of the guy and he's starting to run. Checks the quarterback to see if the quarterback still has the ball. If he's looking there, he is. Speed turn, because right now at this point, so tough spot for off DBs, corner safety, whatever it may be. When a guy starts threatening vertically and he's within that 5 yard range, you can't just stay flat footed, right? You can't keep your hips square to the line of scrimmage, because then he's going to pass you and you have to do a complete turn to run with him. It's not going to work. So you're forced to open your hips up like this. Now the problem comes if you open up your hips too early. Obviously he could just break back to the ball. He can undercut you, but in a spot like this, you're going to start to open as Stiggers does. But unfortunately, one of the problems when you open is they can undercut you a little bit, right? They can undercut you a little bit, but what you have to do in this situation is speed turn. So instead of him flipping his hips inside to run with this, he's going to flip it over the top, because that helps you maintain speed and helps you stay over the top with better pace. So speed turn. Now, what do you want to do when you speed turn? Snap your eyes out of it so you find your threat. You don't want to delay your eyes. Snap them out as quick as you can. Find your threat. Play over the top of it. It's really good off coverage. Bam, right there. Right, patient. Like, and there's differences in tempos, right? Like when you're opening up like this, you could see when he opens up, he's not in a dead sprint, but he's opened enough, running at, let's say, 80% speed right there. So he's not necessarily biting over the top here, but he's playing conservatively. He's playing it as conservatively as he needs to, I should say. Again, when you're forced to open and flip, there's going to be weak points, and getting undercuts a weak point, but you have to speed turn. You have to get back on the route as quick as you can. Stickers versus screen. Okay, so we got a 4v4 situation right here. If you even count this over, this DB, the star, whatever you want to call him, if you can count him, Stickers does not make it easy on him. So reads the route combo, sees the smoke route from the receiver, sees the smoke route. You see him react to the smoke. Check with the quarterback. Quarterback's looking over there. Quarterback's going to throw it. Where's that ball going? Right. So really good keying. See the route. Check the quarterback. Yep, he's thrown it. Shoot inside. Dip past. Dip past the receiver. Make the tackle. Good play. Watch it one more time. Okay, hell of a job. Um, this is one area that I didn't put it in a lot just because I didn't want to watch a ton of missed tackles. Um, Stiggers misses a lot of tackles. I'll just be honest. And maybe this is being dramatic, but it literally felt like every other tackle he was missing. And if that's dramatic, I would have to anticipate the number is at least 25% missed tackles. that I watched, and that's being maybe conservative. It feels like at least every four tackles he missed one. He tends to come into tackles a little bit out of control, a little bit out of control here. One, you have a clear shot on this receiver. Now, how much depth he was coming from and all of that, um, it could change up the formula a little bit. But what I can tell you is this receiver is in the air, is not really able to make the best of moves. It's not like he even changes his body positioning a lot from catching that ball. And Stiggers comes in out of control, bending from the waist, ducking the head, and doesn't really even get close to tackling him. So his tackle problems are they're out there for sure. Again, ducking the head, being too wide, lunging at the ankles, not crossing his helmet. There's a litany of problems with his tackling. But it's out there. I don't know how many times I highlighted during the review, but I do want to um make it very, very prevalent in this review that his tackling is awful. Okay. Stiggers to the top versus screen. And there's some good plays versus screen and stuff. He's willing to take on blocks and all that stuff. When it comes to his actual tackling form, it's not very good most of the time. Like even here, it's not. He comes in pretty out of control in the tackle window. Like he's lucky the running back is kind of off balance here because